the 2011 Longleaf Triathlon, of which U R CrossFit is hosting the official triathlete warm-up at 7:15 in the green space in front of the downtown shops. What I'd like to talk to you about today is athlete nutrition, because we at U R CrossFit believe that nutrition is the foundation for all athleticism, and that good nutrition produces great results. So when we talk about nutrition, we look at food, fluids, and electrolytes. And we also want to consider before a race or your race preparation, during the race nutrition, and also post-race nutrition or recovery nutrition. So if we look at the board back here, we can see that the pre-race, and when we're talking pre-race, we are referring to the day before. So when we look at food, a lot of athletes have come to believe, particularly endurance athletes, that you have to carb load the night before. The only problem with that is the time it takes your body to process all that carbohydrate, to put the sugars into your muscles to where you can use them, is usually going to take longer than it takes to get from dinner time to race time. So what we're recommending is that you eat an additional 18 to 20 grams of carbohydrate at breakfast the day before, and an additional 18 to 20 grams of carbohydrate at lunch the day before. Now what that's going to look like is about a cup of yogurt, maybe 20 grapes, or a 4-inch sweet potato. If you look at fluids the day before, you don't need any additional fluids the day before, but you want to make sure you're getting adequate fluid. How to determine that? We have an easy equation. If you take your weight and divide by 2, that's going to give you your basic fluid needs for the day. And then you want to add 16 ounces for every hour of training. So say you're a 150-pound athlete and you did an hour of training. That's going to come to 91 ounces of fluid a day. If you look at the electrolytes the day before, and the electrolytes are your sodium and chloride, that makes your salt, your potassium, your magnesium, and your calcium, you really don't need to do anything extra. If you're eating well, you're going to get that nutrition. But if you do want to give yourself a little boost, maybe in the salt department, something like a cup of soup at lunch or a cup of soup at dinner is going to be plenty. The reason electrolytes are so important, particularly for athletes, is electrolytes help your muscles move. They contract and relax those muscles. So if you don't have electrolytes, you're not going anywhere. You may notice that during race nutrition, I've divided it up into the sprint distance and the international distance. And the reason being is the time it takes to do those activities. Your typical sprint triathlon is going to take about an hour, definitely less than an hour and a half, or close to that. Whereas your international distance is usually going to be longer than an hour and a half. So you can see, as far as food, fluid, and electrolytes for your sprint triathlete, you don't need anything extra because you're not working out long enough. Now if you want to stop at a water station and get some water or some Gatorade because you're feeling thirsty, there's nothing wrong with that. But you typically don't need to do anything extra. However, for your international distances, when you're working out more than an hour and a half, you do want to replenish that food and those fluids and those electrolytes. So the general recommendation for food is about 300 calories per hour. And since you want that food to be fast absorbed, you want to look for fast absorbing carbohydrates, things you can get from an energy bar, from a gel, or even a sports drink. For fluids, you want to get about 16 ounces per hour of activity. Now, I would not recommend getting all 16 ounces at once, so don't wait till the top of the hour, try to down 16 ounces, and then keep going, because it's not going to work out too well for you. So you may want to split that up into 4-ounce increments, maybe 4 ounces every 15 minutes. When you look at electrolytes for when you're training, you really need to know your sweat rate to know exactly how much you need. So if you don't know that, and it's kind of hard to explain that right here, right now, so I would just say make sure that if you are in that category where you're doing the international distance, you're getting some of those electrolytes in the choices you're making for food, in the sports drinks, in the gels, in the energy bars. And also, be very careful if you start to feel dizziness, cramping, headaches, nausea, vomiting, and if you do start to feel those, please seek the medical attention because you could be low on those electrolytes. So now let's move on to the post-race. Your initial recovery food, you want to try and have a nice ratio of carbohydrates to protein. You need the carbohydrates to replenish what you've lost through the exercise, but you also want to get some protein so you can start building that muscle back that you've broken down during the event. So a good example would be chocolate milk, or another good example would be an orange and an ounce of cheese. Those are going to be great initial recovery foods. And then after that, you want to go back to eating how you normally would to make sure you're getting plenty of protein, carbohydrates, and fat. For your fluids, you really just want to make sure that you're replacing the fluids you've lost. If you did well during the race, you shouldn't have to drink too much extra, but if it's a hot day or you just want to make sure you're giving yourself that little bit of extra fluid, please do so. And then you can go back to your pre-race fluid intake of half your body weight plus 16 ounces for every hour. For electrolytes, as long as you're eating, there's nothing special you have to do post-race. The during of the race with the electrolytes is where those are most important. Okay, so that's kind of nutrition in a nutshell. I would like to remind everyone that U R CrossFit is hosting the official triathlete warm-up at 7:15 on the day of the race in the green space in front of the downtown area. I also would like to invite you all to come to our free class that happens every Saturday at 9 a.m., including the Saturday of packet pickup. So please feel free to stop by, see what we're all about, and ask any questions. We'll also be handing out flyers the day of packet pickup, so don't hesitate to stop us and ask us any questions about how CrossFit can make you a better triathlete. We'd also like to invite you to join us on Facebook. If you like our Facebook page, U R CrossFit, and put your bib number on our wall, then you'll be eligible for a special offer. So finally, good luck, and we hope to see you on race day.